So, Leo, your week commencing the 9th of February on the screen, your event chart. You continue to have that cluster of energy in your sector of relating, including your ruler, the Sun. But he's just moved into the third decan of Aquarius, which is subruled by the diplomatic Venus. But ironically, Venus at the start of this week is in a testing, tense right angle to Uranus, the planet which has perhaps made your working situation or your connection to the world over the last 7 years somewhat uncertain, or giving you a real appreciation of being a bit more independent or trying things that are different. But also on Monday, in the part of your situation to do with your feelings, your home and your family connections, the moon is clashing with Mars initially, but then with the Sun. So all through this week there's a backdrop of that quarter moon, and it suggests that whether professionally or at home, if you're being very diplomatic and working hard at listening to how other people feel, being very attuned to their needs, but it feels like you're getting very little back, I think it can all come up to the boil as this week comes to a close in perhaps a little bit of a turbulent way, but that doesn't need to be a bad thing. Remember also last week, Mercury, the communicator, but the planet of precision, moved into your 8th house. Now that's great for fact finding, diving deep, thinking more about the psychological side of life, but also grappling with your resources and trying to squeeze a bit more from them. Now Mercury will be joined by the planet of finance on Tuesday. If you have been discussing a contract or trying to improve your long-term sense of security, there could be some good news in the next few weeks. But there's also a conjunction between Mercury and the North Node at the heart of this week. And something you think about, or it could be a dream or a deep perception that you develop, is something you should really trust, I feel, because by the end of this week, as Saturn returns to your fellow fire sign of Aries, where it's really for you about your higher truths, but it can also be where you become much more conscious of where you feel penned in or limited, or where you may need to work harder at learning new skills or knowledge. The Sun clashes with Uranus. So it's a repeat of Venus's clash earlier in the week, but the Sun, of course, your ruler, has a great deal more might. So if you have been very patient, very diplomatic, not just this week, but over the last few weeks, trying to be as very obliging as you can, if it's still not being heard or recognised, a much more assertive part of your nature can be expressed. But I think that's a very positive thing. And maybe with Saturn's support, you can use your knowledge, experience, or information to make your point in a very firm way. And I think it may be necessary if someone isn't really appreciating the value that you bring to a partnership, a family dynamic, a business relationship, or even a client or customer. Please join me at my new website at patrickarundel.com. We've got so much deep content to share with you. I do feel that some of the big astrology portals are rather generic. Ours comes very much from the heart. There's a sole purpose to what me, my wife and our team do. And I feel that really shows up in a powerful way. So please join us at patrickarundel.com.